Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 5 of the Chatty Natty Podcast with myself and Zach. Back with another episode.
Back with another episode. Here we
Do
go.
you know what? That's a month.
No, we're over a month.
Yeah, we're over a month.
Unless it was a 5-week month.
No. You're right.
I don't know whether it was. Let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4. It was a 5-week month.
In any case,
so technically it has been a month.
We're killing it on the consistency front. This
5
week
episodes
we've
deep.
got a few bits and pieces to talk about. I think we're just going to start off this episode with a bit of a PCA Naturals 4.
Yeah, 4.
PCA Natty's 4 recap. Zach was obviously present for that. So Zach, mate, I'll let you take the reins on this. I'll add my comments where I can.
Yeah, it was solid. Really good show. Went to the PCA Naturals in Kettering last year, and definitely the standard of the show has significantly stepped forwards, which is good. I think, I don't know how long the PCA Naturals have actually been run. Is it 2 years? Maybe 3?
I think I want to say 2 or 3. I definitely remember it being something that, like, when we first started working together, we weren't really talking about PCA very much at all.
No.
And they have ramped up in terms of the amount of shows they're putting on. It's mental.
Yeah, and it was a lot busier this year in comparison to last. But it's always usually one of those shows because of the time of the year that it's placed. It's either the first show of the season for competitors that are competing towards the back end of the year, or it's the last show of the season for people in the sort of like the earlier stages of the year.
Yeah.
So usually the standard of conditioning, it's like, people their first show, so they're not quite all the way in because they're waiting until sort of September, October, November to get all the way in. Or they're absolutely dug out, because it's their last show. But really good show. I had Will in it and Kian in teens. They done juniors, which was mega. Will got 6th. Unfortunately, Kian didn't place. But, we had no expectations really for this show. They're 19 years old going into a junior lineup where, they're people that are like 23. They've got 4 years of age on them. That's training age, which makes a massive difference. I'd say Will definitely held his own in terms of muscularity, but because it was an earlier show, we never really had it planned. It's kind of just 20 minutes up the road. We're like, okay, let's do it. But we knew conditioning wasn't going to be exactly where we needed it to be. But he's still to a very good standard.
Do you want to bring him up? Do you want to try?
Yeah, mate. Yeah,
I know we're a bit skeptical about last week. For everyone listening, we suffered some technical difficulties whilst trying to do the screen sharing. And we lost a good chunk of it. For those who listened to the episode, we lost about 10 minutes where we did speak a lot about Will. So if it works now, and I know that Will actually follows the Chatty Natty Podcast.
Mate, he does. He's asked the question as well.
Exactly. So, Will, if you're listening, mate, you're going to get your spotlight time now instead of last week because it all went wrong. But here we go. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, this was the show. This was Sam Lowe. Sam Lowe. I think that's how you pronounce his name.
That's pretty diabolical, isn't it?
He competed. So he was the junior after me in 2022, I believe. I think he competed in 2023.
Yeah.
But he's got a wild physique. I remember seeing him as a junior, and even back then, his quads were the absolute standout. He got the overall in this show, and rightfully so, because
I skimmed through it. I was away this weekend, and I skimmed through it. The one thing I will say about the PCA, and I think this is a really interesting way to open up this episode, the standard of exposure that they give to the athletes. Like, I'm not going to stand here and say that every single PCA video looks the best, but these actually are really good. Like, the lighting here is really good.
Really crisp.
This is way better than I usually see from PCA. Usually when I see them, I'm watching them, I'm going like, I know that person, and I know that person's physique looks better than it does on a PCA reel. Go on, Jack Barnard. Go up the physique guy just there. That's one of Josh's boys.
Yeah,
These are really good videos.
he's insane.
But do you know what I mean? Like, Will's a good example, but PCA, when they do a show, they absolutely pump out reels. And I love that because it's like you're getting this exposure as an athlete, as a bodybuilder, that you just don't get with a lot of the other federations.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, the MBW started to have obviously done it. They done it last year.
Yeah, yeah.
But this is, PCA have always smashed out the reels. It's good because it gives everyone
Well, I mean, as well as
the
like
exposure.
for people who want to keep up with what's going on, who know there's a show going on but can't attend, and maybe you don't want to watch a live stream, or maybe there isn't a live stream. It's just another way of like, every couple of hours, I know that if I go on the PCA official homepage, I'm going to see like, okay, who won juniors, who won this, who won that, and yeah, it's really cool, really cool. I like it.
Yeah, yeah. So it was just a really good show in general. I was, you sort of a bit like when you first go there, you're like, oh, what's the standard going to be like? And then the teens come out and whatnot, or the juniors come out, and you're like, okay, this is like you had mixed disability, and you had first timers bodybuilding on before that, and even the first timers bodybuilding, it was wicked, and the classes were stacked. I don't think there was many classes where it was like 3 people in it. A lot of them were, a good sort of like. I mean, that was 13. I think it was in the juniors.
Let's try and get down to the juniors. I mean, for people who are wondering, I don't know if we might have gone a bit too far there, but for people who were,
this is it.
That's a perfect example, right? How many reels is that? That's like like 100 reels or something.
Yeah, first time as bodybuilder.
Yeah, he was good conditioning.
This guy was like he's solid. His name is Blaze. All of his like family or friends were behind us in the audience, and all they kept saying was, "Come on, Blaze, show us your face, show us your face," and it was it was hilarious because I think every time that he was posing, he always looked down. So all of his family or his friends would just say, "Show us your face, Blaze, come on."
I'd like to. I'd be curious to know how old this guy is because it was the first thing that I thought of when I saw. I'm interested in first timers because I've obviously got.
I think he said I was talking to him. I think he was about 30. He's in his 30s, mid 30s.
Yeah, and you can tell from like the maturity of the muscle that he's got. I do feel like that's a little bit of a for anyone who's looking at first timers potentially next year, and I've obviously got Jack that will be first timers / novice. You are going to come up against people who've got that muscle maturity, and that's where like I would say. So I saw. Is this still first timers? Yeah, this lad's.
Yeah, Lewis Hoskins. He was wicked.
Yeah, structure.
Just needed a bit more condition.
Yeah,
to be honest.
But
If
his
he was
posing's
sharper,
great.
he would have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it comes back to what we've said in previous podcasts about like, if you can nail your presentation, you really do have to play to your strengths in this sport.
Yeah, I mean he's got a great level of muscularity. All it was for Lewis was just a bit more condition, but I don't know whether this is maybe an earlier show or what. But he's really good. It reminded me a bit of where Will's at the moment. Like he's got the muscle mass there. He just needs to be that little bit sharper, and he's really good. And then this guy Edward come third. Conditioning was sharp, maybe not as heavily muscled as the guy that comes second, but yeah, really good physique. Yeah.
It is interesting though, isn't it? You watch some of the poses and you are like, you need some lessons.
Yeah.
My posing is not great. It's not the best in the world, but I worked with Matt Butcher before stepping on stage to the point where I was confident going through transitions and things like that, yeah, it is key.
Yeah, posing is really important, of course. He competed as well, this guy Yanis. I believe he competed last year with Lewis and Ethan. And he definitely didn't look like this. Can't remember who is coached by. I think it's Noah, and he's
nice.
improved dramatically. Serious improvements. I'd say more so from a conditioning perspective than maybe a muscularity, but because he's a lot leaner, he looks a lot bigger.
Yeah,
You know, he's just presented a really nice look.
that's nice.
So that also is a good talking point because it goes to show, you know, even though he competed, I believe it was last year. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
Go on his. Has he got? Is it tag? He's tagged. Go on his. Yeah, Jan 480. Go down. Go down. Just there in the comments with Noah. God, Zach, you're blind, mate. Great work, Noah.
Where is it?
Oh my God, great work, Noah, and at Jan. He's definitely Jan, isn't he? Fucking hell, mate. Jesus Christ. Specsavers,
Sorry.
maybe. Wow.
Sorry.
Jeez.
Lewis.
Scroll.
I was looking at his things. Maybe he didn't compete last year.
We'll find out pretty quick, won't we?
But Lewis did say to me that this was the guy that he competed against.
To Yanis, if you're listening to the Chatty Natty Podcast, sorry that we're absolutely scrolling through your Instagram right now.
Yeah. I don't even know what date we're on here. Let's have a look at the dates.
47 weeks, so coming up to a year.
Okay.
We'll find out pretty soon.
God, absolutely scrolling down the old of the gram.
I feel like no. I feel like click on one of these. No. We must be deep past. Yeah, we're at the bottom of his Instagram.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe not.
I could have, maybe, I don't know, or maybe he didn't post them. But okay, even if he didn't, I could have swore he did. It was one of those.
All right. Well.
But yeah, great look.
Back to the PCA.
Yeah. So yeah, juniors, and then yeah, even bodybuilding. I didn't necessarily stay for the rest of the show, to be honest. Like we sort of hovered a bit in and out, so I did miss some classes.
Do you want to go down to Will's class? Let's just shine a little bit of a Will and Kian shine a little bit of a spotlight on the boys.
I don't think Will's on it.
No, but they have like if you click on like a bunch of these juniors ones, there you go. Yeah. So you've got a full pose down. There he is. Where is he?
Will would be on the left side.
There he is.
There he is. It'll come back round to him. Hitting the most muscular. Boom!
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the standard across the board, though, for the class, I mean, it looks pretty good.
Yeah. No, it's almost like set the tone for the rest of the season now. Ivan, congratulations to Ivan as well. He's I said to him after the show, I said, you've retired me, bro. He beat me to the British title, didn't he, in 2022? he got first as a junior, and then I got second at the British. Obviously, I haven't competed since. He's competed about another 3 times. So I said to him, retired. But yeah, he's got a great physique.
Your time will come, mate.
Oh, yeah, definitely. He's classic. He's got a crazy front double, like that vacuum, peaky biceps, sweepy quads.
Let's scroll up. This guy, 11.9K, that one. Yeah, that's one of Adam's boys, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Tyvon. Yeah, he's very good. Have you seen his improvements as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was either him.
I believe he's from roundabouts where we are as well.
Didn't know that. But yeah, he's very good. Adam posted his improvements from, I think, I want to say either the last season or the last couple. Yeah, mega. Yeah.
Good structure, good flow, good symmetry. Yeah. Nice and full. I just think a bit more conditioning from him and is going to be even more crazy.
Yeah, look at that, though.
That most muscle is really nice. Yeah. 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 Just it'll be the full package. If he can get like a little bit sharper, that's going to be absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the show.
Cool. Yeah, come off of this and see. Wow, we managed to seamlessly transition through a screen sharing section of the podcast. I think that is
I'm a
pretty
pro at
impressive
the
in
game now.
itself. Mate, you've come on leaps and bounds. You're a tech wizard. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Your
the
eyesight's
podcast
let
is
you
no
down,
longer
but
lagging. Yeah.
yeah, we're flying, mate. I guess let's get into just a little bit of an update on our ends, because we know that's why everybody tunes in, really, isn't it? Just to hear about mine and Zach's really exciting lives. How's your week been, mate?
Oh, mate, it's the same as last week. If not, probably a little bit worse with this sciatica, but it's leveled out yesterday and today. So I've had some rough nights.
Yeah.
I think yesterday I was it no, not last night, the night before. I ended up waking up about 12 o'clock at night, 2 o'clock in the morning, come downstairs, took some paracetamol. The dog was downstairs, started stroking the dog, fell asleep on the sofa, woke up about 4 o'clock, and then went back to bed for an hour.
Matt can't have done the back any favours, falling asleep on the sofa.
Probably a little bit better for it, to be honest, because
Really?
it's harder flooring. The
Maybe, yeah.
bed and how cushiony it is, so it's I think it's like a medium mattress or whatever. But yeah, it just does me in, because it's, even though I've got like a pillow, I've got cushions at the end of my legs, trying to keep it elevated. Oh my god, like that position for a long period of time just triggers the sciatica so much.
Yeah.
So I find myself like this week, probably for the last week, I've just had broken sleep. I'm up at always 12 o'clock,
Yeah.
always awake at 2, always awake at like half 3 or 4. It's broken. So yeah, everything's just been horrendous this week, because I'm catching up on sleep, throughout the day. It's one of those, and
You're
this is a
napping.
reality. This is the reality of sort of how the issue has been for the last sort of year and a half, because you just go through phases of where it's really bad, and I've been able to get in like minimal training. It's been awful, and then you're missing meals because the pain is so extreme. That's where I need to definitely improve on for the next time that this issue sparks up.
Yeah, yeah.
Is the meal side of it. Because I said on last week's podcast, I was like, I'm never one to miss meals ever. I could be ill, so ill, and I will still make a way and make sure that I get in all my meals. I'll be up until 11:30 at night eating them. But when it's like this, I can't really explain it.
It's just a
Can't,
distraction, isn't it?
yeah,
I know exactly what you mean. And like, let's paint a scenario where like you've had a shit night's sleep, you've not been able to train the way that you want to train, you've got a busy work day, whatever it might look like, and then you go to the fridge and you've not got any meal prep, and you're like, right,
yeah,
I've got to go to the shop, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. The list of tasks just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And I know what you mean, because like obviously my recent injury has been nowhere near the severity of yours, but for 2 or 3 days it was relatively like debilitating. And you're trying to, picking something up off the floor. You're like, okay, that's a long way down. I might not
yeah.
get back up.
I think it's just that the more the stress element,
Yeah, that
that's
too.
what's done it for me. Because I'm not sleeping very long at all. So then you complete your day's work or your tasks or whatever, your PT, your clients, and
Yeah.
do your check-ins. And by the time that you get to certain parts of the day, you don't want to eat, because the pain is so it's so horrible. Like, it's just brutal. And even if I've got meal prep, the thought of eating 150 gram of rice is or like or cream of rice or something like that, that's like really like sloppy and just not the best.
Smoothies, mate.
Um,
That's the
so yeah,
solution.
I mean that's what I've been doing this week. Not smoothies necessarily, but I've been eating like just more bagels
Yeah,
and like
stuff that you can just
honey
cram in.
and
Yeah.
jam, yeah, and things that I can just that's a bit chewy. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's a bit more appealing than cream of rice. And body weight's up a little bit, but not a drastic amount. So I've got some climbing back to do. I've got about 1.5 kilos to build back. But yeah, other than that, it's not been too bad.
Other than that,
It's been,
fine and dandy.
yeah, yourself?
Similar story. we swear this will not just become an injury complacency hotline for every single episode. But yeah, I'm just managing mine. It's been really good this week, to be fair. There's a few bits that I just can't do. Hinging and hip thrusts is essentially just the only things off limits. Like I trained pull today and everything was good. Managed to get on a T-bar without any issues. Managed to get a pendlay row going on the Smith without any issues. Yeah, I'm rocking and rolling at the minute, to be fair. Get those dogs sorted, mate. Yeah. I've definitely turned the heat up in terms of like just trying to accelerate rate of loss a little bit, which is responding nicely. You know, when you're walking around,
in your photos.
Definitely, and you're walking around and you're going like, you're putting your hands around your hips and you're like, oh, I can actually get my hands around my hips. Like, that's interesting. So still rocking and rolling. Had a really nice weekend away with Izzy and Izzy's brother and his girlfriend. Went to New Forest, got sunburn, chilled out in a caravan. Yeah.
Where did you go where you got the sunburn last year?
Oh, mate, 2 years ago. Horrendous.
Was it 2?
Absolutely horrendous.
It was possibly the worst sunburn I've ever seen.
Lanzarote, I was swollen. And I was already swollen because I was 97 kilos at the time. So I was like a beached whale that had just been left out to burn. I remember that is the first and last time, because I definitely try and promote body positivity, right? That's the first and last time that I will ever wear a T-shirt in the swimming pool. And it was because I was just so horrendously burned that I had to like... I remember Izzy was laying out in the sun and she's got a picture of me and there's like a parasol over me. I've got like shorts on, socks on that pretty much cover everything to there. And then like a hat, sunglasses and my T-shirt. And I'm just like covered up from head to toe. Because I do burn badly. But yeah, I'm trying to think what else has actually happened this week. Clearly nothing too interesting, because otherwise it would leap to the forefront of my mind. No, got some good sessions in. Yeah, I've got nothing left. Mate.
How much have you lost?
£20.
£20 total?
Yeah, not this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, £20 total.
That's a million prep in 2024.
Yeah. I'm 8 weeks. I'll be 8 weeks as of like tomorrow. So £2.50 per week. Pretty good, pretty nice.
Yeah, kind of some £2 weeks.
It's funny though, mate. Like you realise, like as you're coming down in like a whatever you want to call this, like a mini diet or whatever, you just start thinking about how much weight you lost in prep, but where it was from and where your start point was. And I'm like, okay, so if I was to get, and like things are starting to show now, I've never had this much detail at this body weight. Like I'm just north of 85 kilos. And in a gym, if I lift my shirt up, I've got very visible abs, which is pretty cool, to be honest, because I remember a 20-year-old version of me being like, if I could be 85 kilos with abs, that would be pretty sick. Now, obviously, the appetite has gotten bigger than that, and the expectations too. But it's nice to remind yourself, like, okay, so 10 years ago, I wanted this, and now I've got it.
How much more do you want to take off?
A good chunk. I reckon, like, another 15-ish. So that would put me down. I want to get down near 170 and see what that looks like. Like my plan moving forward is to, like, as I said a few weeks back, is get lean enough to really give myself a really long runway. Because I do feel like no matter what, like we managed growth phases well together, and I feel like I've managed this one on my own relatively well, but I still do feel like I cut it short because of my own pace of like rate of gain or whatever you want to say. I basically got too fat too quick. And I would love to just see if I could put myself in a position where I could like look at the next year and be like, right, I'm going to spend that year in a surplus. I'd love to see what that would look like by the end of it. So that's kind of the plan at the minute.
I think you come from two very different environments when you come out of a prep. You know, when you get absolutely peeled, hormonally you're very dumped. You've been in a very long deficit, and how you react to that situation because of your mindset and your mentality is very different than if you're just coming out of a mini diet.
Yeah.
A mini diet, you know, okay, you feel a bit fucked at times, and you feel a bit depleted, and you feel very flat during your sessions, but it's a very different environment to how you finish a prep.
Oh God,
And
yeah.
after a prep, you crave normality. You
Yeah.
know, you kind of crave being able to, I don't know, just go to the cinema and have a
Pick a
fucking
mix,
roll over
mate.
hot dog,
Pick a
a
mix.
roll over hot dog with your missus. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, some people do. Some people couldn't care less about it. But you know, sometimes I think in your position, you craved a bit of like your own normality.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
And
know,
I'll admit, like, just an element of control. Like, because when you're being prepped by a coach, especially when you're being prepped by a coach, and by the way, I'm not saying to anyone prep without a coach, because you will be shit. Quite simply, you will be second call out. But when you've relinquished so much control for 8 months, right, you almost just want to take that back with both hands. And it's where you do have to be really careful. I saw Finn posted a video about this the other day, about how, like, a lot of people leave their coach right after prep and say, like, I just want to handle things on my own for a bit, mate. And
yeah,
he called it out as it is, and it's very true. That basically means, right, I'll see you in 2 months when you've completely fucked your reverse, you're 30 pounds up, and you're looking the worst you've ever looked, and you feel the worst you've ever felt. For me, I didn't get into that situation because obviously we worked together post prep.
yeah,
But yeah, I do agree. Like, a mini diet or a cut, whatever you want to call it, like, I think that's one of the benefits of having done a prep as well. Like, I've had a few days the last week where I'm like, yeah, do you know what? I can feel that this is working because I am really quite hungry right now. And then I kind of go
yeah,
to myself, no, you're not. No, you're not. Like, you've been in
yeah.
much worse positions than this.
Do you know what? And this is also quite an important topic, is that I've done pre-prep diets that I have kind of found harder than an actual competition prep.
Yeah.
Like, and some people will completely disagree with this, but my pre-prep diet that I done in 2024 with
Hmm.
AJ, I was losing like 3.5 pounds, 4 pounds a week
Yeah.
consistently. Like literally, like every single week, it would be like 3, 4 pounds of body weight. And I lost about 27 pounds in 7 weeks, maybe. Yeah, something like that. 7, 8 weeks. I lost loads.
Mhm.
One, because my body is just naturally very responsive anyway. But two, you know, it's a temporary feeling, and it's a pre-prep diet. It's meant to be aggressive.
Yeah.
You know, when you start getting into prep scenarios, you need to be a bit more careful of the rate of losses. But you know, if you're retaining performance, you know, and I was still progressing the logbook, like even though I was losing that aggressively. And people, you know, a lot of people, some people would be able to do that, some people wouldn't, but that's how you sort of dictate things. If your training's going absolutely horrendously because you're losing 3 or 4 pounds a week, then
Yeah. Look
obviously
at it.
don't don't do that. But you know, be objective with things. But you know, you'll be surprised if you can afford to push a little bit harder during the pre-prep diet. So then that can buy you more time for the off
In your
season.
prep. Yeah. And in your prep.
Yeah, and when you reverse out.
Yeah. That's certainly, I think, what, and everybody's first time doing anything is going to be the most difficult. It's going to be the one that has the most stress related and just uncertainty around, like, where am I actually going to end up. But, like, the truth of, especially like when you look at the world of natural bodybuilding, your first competitive season is by de facto the one where you're going to have the least amount of muscle on your frame. So to reveal that muscle, you are going to have to dig deeper. You are going to have to get into more of a deficit and get to those. Like, mate, for us to get my glutes in, that was a shift towards the end. Like, I definitely didn't have it as bad as other people on prep from a cardio perspective, and just generally, like, I know people that do some pretty dumb shit. there's another topic to be said on that. But it was rough towards the end. You'd like to think now, the next time I go, or anyone doing their second competitive season, it's like, right, you've now got way more muscle. So to get there is going to take a lot less. It's still going to be hard, but the look will be different. Yeah. Like I remember thinking,
I think it will get easier the more seasons that you do from an experience perspective, but also you've got more muscle maturity. So the more glute tissue you've got, the more conditioned you're going to get that muscle group earlier on into the process.
Yeah, spot on. I remember thinking the whole time when we were getting towards the back end of my prep, and you really are looking for like hamstring detail, you're looking for glute detail, and those are like the last bits to come in. I remember like one arse cheek was like that, and then the other one was just like not coming in, and I'm like, are you joking? Like, come on, just do that.
Yeah.
Do that.
Get a shift done.
Every time you take shots, you're like, come on, like just have some striations there.
Sometimes though it can be flatness, because you could have that level of conditioning through the muscle, but because you're flat, there's no muscle pressure. There's nothing to push the muscle out towards the skin. And that's something that I'm telling Will as we're coming down now for the shows for the UK, the FBA. It's like, even if he looks at certain shots and he's lost, say 0.6 kilos, and Kean as well, like, you almost need that high day to almost go in, push some glycogen back into the muscle, then see where it's at, see how it's looking, and you'll probably realize you're not as far away as what you think.
I try and explain this to like Gen Pop gym people at Muscle Hut all the time, like what is a high day and why do you run one, and why, like, what's the benefit? Because I've certainly had clients like that I've dieted, and there's such an element of trust in like knowing that your coach knows what they're talking about and knows what they're doing with you. And I definitely experienced that with you. I tell this story all the time, and I'll be very brief with it, but when I moved into this flat, like how flat I got in that day because of the added expenditure. And I remember messaging you and being like, mate, like, what is going on? My physique has literally disappeared overnight. And you were like,
did as well.
Oh, mate, bad. Bad. But you were like, don't worry, back-to-back high days, let's see what happens. And literally, I remember like one of my mates' dads at the time who was following along with my like journey was like, what the hell is that? Like, how have you gone from this to this in 24 hours? And I was just like, food, glycogen, like, it is mental. It's mental. Like, that's what happens to people at the end of a prep when they are too far gone, and you're trying to implement those high days and you're trying to bring that, and it is gone. But for the most part, that's bodybuilding, is it? Especially natural. Like, get flat, fill up, get flat, fill up, get flat, fill up, and rinse and repeat until you've got the look that you want to present on stage.
As long as you're in the position to fill up.
Yes. Don't just keep filling up.
Yeah, because people are also too cautious about that.
Yeah.
And then they ended up just keep high day. Oh, I'm a little bit flat, so I'm going to go with another high day. And then they just never get in shape.
Yeah, on stage.
Yeah. And this is why experience matters so much for a bodybuilding prep. Having a coach that has actually seen all different scenarios. Because if you've got a coach that has never been through a contest prep, or they haven't been through certain situations, they probably wouldn't know how to deal with the situation that's been put in front of them.
Yeah, for sure. Should we get into some questions with sort of the back half of this? I've got to go at like, I don't know when, but yeah, can't be running this one too long today, to be honest.
Okay. If you've got good questions, as in like questions talking about training or nutrition or supplementation, whatever it is, you fire across first, because the questions that I've got is, let's say 1 pump up the bum adds 1 pound of muscle. How many pumps you taking?
Mate, that's a great question. That's a brilliant question. That's informative. It's education. It's really cultural, beautiful question. Who's asked that?
Josh Ingram.
Yeah. Oh, what a man of culture. What a man of culture. I've got some, I think. Yeah, I've got some that
I've got
are good.
a good amount of pumps, mate, to be fair. You know,
Oh, are we
like
answering this now? Are we answering the pumps?
Yeah, I mean, it's just easy question, really, isn't
All
it?
right.
Like, mate, the sacrifice for muscle.
So what was it? I take each pump
One
that I
pump,
take is a
it
pound of
adds
muscle.
1 pound of muscle. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Who am I taking the pumps from?
He did bracket Mandingo.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Great. So, yeah, we can assume they're going to be pretty aggressive pumps. I would take 10 pumps. 10
For
pumps for
£10 of tissue.
£10. Nice round number. Yeah. It changed me forever in multiple ways, but
I think it would, but if you're lubed up, mate, it might not be as bad.
never
It
know.
probably would be.
You might even like it. You never know.
Yeah, if you do, you do. It's each to your
No
own,
comment.
isn't it?
No comment.
I
You don't
prefer
know.
not to speak.
Yeah, if I speak, I'm in big trouble. What's your answer?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'd be happy with another £10 of tissue. I'd be happy with. I think I've got £20 of tissue to get back to my previous stage rate in 2025. So I'm joking.
Mate,
I'm joking.
wow.
So I
I'm
might
coming for
sacrifice.
Samson Downer. 100 pumps.
Yeah, I'm going 200 pumps.
Yeah,
Right,
Bonnie Blue.
Yeah.
10-hour extravaganza.
Let's just get one. So, well,
Yeah,
mate, you're still natty at the end of this. So you could
true.
just be the most impressive natural bodybuilder in the world. But
You could. But do you know what? I don't want to genuinely, like 10 pounds of muscle. If people could actually visualize that, that's a lot of muscle. I don't want, like, whenever I see a picture of bringing up Samson Dowder again, or these big, like the proper IFBB pros, Olympia level, your Nick Walkers, even like James Hollingshead, who looks great at the minute, by the way.
mate, unreal.
He looks really great.
His side chest, his whole physique is just
It's wicked.
spectacular.
It's wicked. But I look at those guys and I go, I'm really happy that they're doing that, because it gives me something to watch and something to like admire as a spectacle. I would never want to look like that. I couldn't. I often think to myself, like, when I'm in my peak off season, getting a t-shirt on is difficult. Like, and I'm not the biggest guy in the world by a country mile. Samson Dowder, I don't know how he gets changed. I don't know how he wipes his ass. I don't know how he does any of these things. Like, how are you getting socks on with 300 odd pounds of muscle in,
mate, and the
in
rest.
between you and your foot?
Is £300 peeled.
So this is what I mean. It's like
You know what I mean?
that quality of life. There's an
Just like a
argument to be made, mate. There's an argument to be made that, like, a off-season pro has a similar quality of life to like a morbidly obese person.
Yeah, to a degree.
I just don't. That doesn't appeal to me. So I'll take my 10 pumps. I'll take my £10. I'll shake hands and I'll leave it at that.
And you'll still look great in the process.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. I've
Your
got a question. So top 4. Really specific number, that, but top 4 gym clothing brands.
Gasp, 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 gasp.
Yeah, you're a big Gasp fan, aren't you?
I'm gasp all day, yeah.
I've
I'm training.
never bought a piece of Gasp clothing.
It's because your lifestyle, mate. That's why.
Yeah, that, and also
it's the fish and chips. That's what it is.
Yeah, I'm too much of a casual. I think I've actually just ordered something from Controlled Insanity, because I like the look of their stuff. That's going to be my transition into more bodybuilding style clothing, I think. But I like their stuff. Vanquish, I think, are good for the most part. I think they do good stuff. I'm going to pull a bit of a rogue one out, but if anyone out there is looking for like cheap stuff that's actually decent, I'm wearing one of their shirts now. Boohoo Man Active.
Yeah. Boohoo, a bit of Primark.
Mate, great for joggers. Boohoo, like, they've got loads of good stuff. Yeah. And then
Mate, I'm impressed
5.
with Primark at the minute. I can't lie.
Yeah.
The quality, I know it's cheap stuff, but the quality is dramatically improved.
There you go. If it works, it works.
Yeah.
My last one, I'm going to go with. Have we got a clothing brand that we could shout out and give some exposure to? What about Trinity? Trinity
Trinity's
Lifting.
good.
There
Josh
you go.
Miller. Shout out Josh Miller.
Yeah, I bought one of
He's a good
their
lad.
shirts at the UKDFBA, and it is good. It's all right. Number 4, Trinity. There you go. So that is for anyone who wants to go and get some clothing. There you go. Primark.
Primark, Trinity, Gasp, and Vanquish.
Yeah. Right. This is a good one, I think, and could get quite deep. How do you handle maintaining relationships during your dieting phases, or at least, let's say, prep? This is going to be very personal to both of us, and for anyone who's listening to this, it's going to be personal to you as well, because it's completely and utterly contextualized by the quality of your relationship and an understanding going into that process. I have seen many a relationship fall apart because of a bodybuilding prep.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think in a lot of cases it's justified.
Let's not hide away from that.
No, not at all. I mean, I've been very lucky. I've got a very supportive girlfriend who I tried my very best to almost over communicate what was going to happen during the prep and how much precedent that was going to take. And I was very, lucky enough that she was willing to support me through that. But let's not beat around the bush. Things are going to happen that really do hinder your relationship. If you're a lad, your dick's going to stop working. Most likely.
Points, yeah.
Your hormonal production is just going to be in the bin. And you do definitely reach points where, the physical elements of your relationship take a real backseat, but also like the mental availability that you actually have for other people. Like you said for last week with your dog, not that you're shagging your dog. But you know what I mean? It's like that space that you have to almost like be aware of other people's wins and other people's whatever. You're just so into your own priorities that that's where you exist. When it comes to like ways to combat that, I think just being super appreciative of the fact that you have someone, you're lucky enough to have someone in your life that is willing to go through that with you and kind of put their arm over your shoulder and support you at the end of the day. 2, doing the things that you like really can do. So helping out around the house, if it's cleaning stuff, like just being involved still. And then checking in regularly, because communication at the end of the day is super, super key.
Yeah, I agree. I think, you need to understand that everything that you do with bodybuilding is for your own benefit.
Yeah, selfish.
It is a selfish endeavor. That isn't a bad thing, because everybody should be doing things that they want to do. And if your partner isn't into bodybuilding, they're going to be there to support you through it. But it's not their whole world. Their whole world isn't bodybuilding, like it might be for you or me or whoever else. So you've got to understand what they appreciate.
Yeah.
And if you start then not doing certain things that they're not happy with, or you stop communicating, or again, like you said, even just doing washing up and drying up, like
just pulling your weight.
I know for sure how much Paige appreciates that.
Yeah,
she comes home to a clean kitchen, that makes her happy.
It's a big difference maker.
So then so but there's loads of different things that you just need to be aware of.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing your partner and what they appreciate and certain actions that you take, you need to be aware of that from your partner. And if you can support them by doing things like that, even when you haven't got as much energy available,
mm-hmm.
then they're going to appreciate that, and they're just going to support you more.
Yeah, it makes it all worthwhile. Because like for me, I know, like let's paint a scenario where I'd have got to the end of my prep, got the results that I got, but I didn't still have Izzy in my corner. Okay, well those trophies then don't really mean an awful lot. I'd probably look at them with a bit more disdain than I would, celebration and pride. Another thing you can obviously do is like there's just things you can do in prep that are going to keep that connection going. Like you're going to have to get an awful lot of steps in. So go on walks together, find nice coffee shops to go to. Cinema trips was a big thing for us, like because I can still go to the cinema and have like a black coffee and enjoy something with my partner that is something I don't have to be like actively like really thinking about. I'm just watching a film, and then afterwards, you can discuss it a bit with whatever energy you've got left if you haven't fallen asleep. But the one thing
also another thing is remember where your energy is going to probably be the most present, and that's going to be earlier stage of the day to midway through the day.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to prioritize your relationship, then do these things earlier on in the day when you actually have more energy available to be present, because you can go to the cinema, but you might not have a laugh.
You might
on the
fall
way
asleep.
to the cinema.
You might fall asleep.
Or you might fall asleep, and then it's not as enjoyable because, you're going to the cinema, you can say you've been to the cinema, but you're not going to enjoy it as much.
No.
Your partner isn't going to enjoy going with you as much because you're just a zombie.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that one, big time. Like prioritizing those windows in the day where you actually feel a bit more human and you can be more present for people. The one thing I'll obviously I think overlap that whole subject with is it's so individual to you, and
definitely
don't let
me use an example of this. Ryan Watkins in 2022. I don't know if people might not know Ryan. He competed the same year as me. He was coached by AJ as well at the time. He was like the same person throughout his whole prep.
Yeah.
It was the most unreal thing I've ever seen. I'm like, how? Like, he's very hyper anyway.
Yeah.
I'm like, he just didn't quieten down.
Yeah, some people can do that,
yeah,
I think when it comes to we obviously discussed this. There's the deeper you get into bodybuilding, I think the more you can get away with. Like we deployed a mid-prep Wagamama's because me and Izzy and Izzy was like, I want to go out for dinner with you, and like this is really draining me. And I remember saying to you, like, look, and it's that communication with your coach to be like, right, we're working towards something. My relationship is getting strained here. Can we do this? And we'll make it work. And I remember I had like a fucking broth bowl or whatever it was that was like super low calorie, but just having that time to be together and go out for food, that kind of just helped ease a lot of things.
Yeah.
It's
not gonna. I feel like it's not gonna help it like long term because you're still in the prep. But as a nice thing to do with each other, it's a moment that you can share together that you haven't been able to do for a while. And Wagamama's, it isn't that deep. If you get later on into the prep and you're doing that, probably not the best. But the earlier stages when you've got more body fat to lose and it's coming off relatively easy, it's not going to throw a massive spanner in the works.
Last thing on that as well, like anyone who is just dieting, just grow up. like I'm sorry, but if you're not in a prep and your partner is saying, I really want to go out for like sushi this weekend, just do it. I'm sorry, but you don't need to be that turbo to get a really. I'm living proof of this with my fish and chips antics and everything else that I've been doing for the last 8 weeks. I'm 20 pounds down. And I'm sure there would come a point if I continued this diet for the long run where I would have to go, okay, that needs to stop. But as long as you can get away with that, in my opinion, if that's going to benefit your life and the life of the people who are closest to you, you should be doing it. Right, leading on from that one, you got anything else to say?
No, mate, no.
Cool.
You covered it all.
This one's probably a bit more for you because I've not really got any experience with this from my own prep. Do you take any neuro supplements to help with brain fog during prep?
Not really, not crazy amounts. I supplemented with alpha GPC, which was quite good. And then also a lot of them are just in pre-workouts. I remember I was using the supplement Refocus by Insight Subs, and that was almost my combination of, it was like that and a Monster for like
Yeah,
a push day or a pull
yeah,
day, and it does help a lot. It really does. Or
yeah.
you're finding quite difficult tasks throughout the day, that take a lot of like mental energy. It's good to go in with something
In the
that's of
tank.
like a cognition based supplement that can, help you just stay focused. If you're doing your cardio in the mornings, it's not that deep.
Yeah,
You
just
don't you
zombie
don't
it.
need to stay focused for that.
Nah.
Have a bit of caffeine in the mornings if you really feel like you need it, to push you through. But for harder tasks that requires a bit more skill and a bit more thought, then yeah, I'd
Yeah.
definitely be going in with
That's
some form of cognition
that's
based
where
supplement.
I would love to, I think next time around, maybe experiment a little bit with that. Um, just things for like, well, like it says in the question, neurological focus, because definitely now that my workload on certain days as well is a lot higher than it used to be, with like clients and things, especially
Yeah.
like with the job that we do, you are communicating. And I consider myself, through no other means by than just fucking talking absolute shit for most of my life, to be a
Mm.
relatively good communicator. And in prep, I remember there were times where I'd be on a sales call with a potential client for my old job, and I'm like, I can't get the words out of my head. They're back here somewhere. I know them all, but they're not accessible to me. And I would like to not get back to that place if it's possible. But I think that comes back to what you said about the relationship element. Like, okay, your brain is at the maximum capacity it's going to be like early in the day. So, bit of caffeine, get the work done that you need to get done. And
Mm.
we're in a bit of a nicer position than a lot of people nowadays because we can kind of dictate our own schedules to a certain degree. But if you're a working professional, a little bit harder. If someone puts a
Yeah, of
meeting
course
in
it
your
is.
calendar for 4 p.m., yeah, good luck. Get a
Yeah.
monster
Yeah.
and hope
Try
for the
something.
best.
Yeah,
Um,
some of these focus supplements as well, though, they can be quite good for the fact that they're not going to blow your socks off with caffeine.
yeah, yeah,
So if you
because that
if
is
you
another
train in
one.
the evenings, but you need a little something to give you a bit of a kick up the arse, and either a coffee like a double espresso or like a focus supplement with like 100 gram of caffeine, um,
Because
you know,
you do want to be
that can be
careful with
that can be
that
beneficial.
when you're like
Yeah,
deep
because you
into
you
prep.
can really mess up your sleep if you're not careful.
Yeah, and just generally how you feel. Like, I mean, I if there was one mental health thing, I've discussed this with you, and I'm very open with discussing it with lots of people. If I was to brand myself within the scope of mental health, anxiety is my big one. It's the one that comes creeping around every now and then. I don't get it anywhere near as badly as I used to. But when I was working in London, going into Canary Wharf, which is an incredibly like overstimulating environment as it is, I remember during prep, there were times where I was leaning into depending on caffeine a lot more just to get me through the day. And you start
Mm.
walking around, in London, like pranging out because you're like, I've got probably like 400 milligrams of caffeine in my system. So it's no surprise you feel like an anxious mess.
Yeah.
So just being conscious of those things, you don't want to get too deep into those waters.
It hits you harder as well. If you've
Definitely.
got minimal carbs going in throughout the
Yeah.
day and then you're absolutely pranged out on caffeine, the crash that
Yeah.
you can have, oh my lord.
Mate, I used to fall
It's it
asleep
can
on the
it,
tube.
it can be yeah, it can be another
Yeah.
level and you're just not waking up as well for your
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Rough.
I
So
I had
rough.
I had a moment in 2022. I signed up with this business mentor, and he had a business event. It was in Manchester, and Manchester for me is about 3 hours away,
Hmm.
so it was a long drive. And I was 4 weeks out, five. I think I was 4 weeks out or three, something like that. And I was on 1900 calories for the day, and I had one carbohydrate. It fell on a rest day, so I had even less carbs, and I had one carbohydrate meal for the day, and I purposefully saved that carbohydrate meal for when I left because I was
Yeah.
like, I've got a long drive back. I'm gonna just like firm it throughout the day, no caffeine. Sorry, not no caffeine.
No
No
carbs.
carbs, all just protein and fats, and just power through. And my mum had to be on the phone to me the whole 3 hours of driving home to keep me awake. I think I must have had about 800 milligrams of caffeine. I crashed like an absolute train on the way back. And that is not an experience I ever want to go through
No,
again.
you're slapping yourself in the face trying to
It was
keep
scary.
awake.
Yeah.
Been there.
Yeah.
What 3 things, this one is for me, but I guess you could answer this as well, to be fair, mate, just from your perspective of working with AJ. What 3 things have you taken from your time working with Zach that you applied to your own coaching business? I think mine are relatively easy to answer. I am going to go with walking the walk. You, in my opinion, have to be an example to your clients. Like, yeah, that can be circumstance driven, but 99% of the time, if your clients come into the gym and you're there and they see you training, they should be like, okay, yeah, that's why I'm working with that guy, because he doesn't leave anything on the table. He's working hard. And that comes from you first and foremost.
Yeah.
So walk the walk. I think setting your own standards way, way higher than expected is something I've taken from you. Like, why would I diminish my own expectation of what I can achieve in the long run, if that makes sense? Like,
Yeah.
and that's something that, even to be fair and to your credit, mate, like, obviously more as friends now, but like, you've not stopped that with me in terms of reminding me, like, yeah, okay, you're doing well, but like, you can keep going.
You're
You
going.
can keep going. And then the final thing, I would say, just being like as approachable as possible for your clients, that I've taken from you. And that could just be born out of our relationship more than anything else. Like, I think I've never had a moment where I'm like, I can't tell Zach this.
No,
And
that's good.
that
Yeah.
breeds a good coaching and client relationship. Like, I'm not saying you need to be best mates, and I'm not saying you even need to be mates like we have become over the time that we've known each other. But like, if you just feel comfortable with your coach to be able to approach them and say, look, I'm having this problem, that in the long run will pay dividend.
Yeah. Yeah,
Those would be my
I
3.
agree. I appreciate that as well, mate.
That's all right.
But
Big
yeah,
love,
that was
bro.
yeah. I think I kind of agree with that as well. The one thing that I will add is almost like wanting to impress your coach as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, true.
You know, as I was sort of like coming up, I've made it, bro. When I was like, even when I was like 20, right? I was like, if I'm being coached by AJ, I'm going to show everyone that I'm one of AJ's clients.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, you know, and I'm like, I'm going to fucking show you all. Like,
I like that.
I'm not fucking about. This is game time, and you know, you just wanna impress them. And this is another thing of what I said to AJ before. We've been through such a journey together. I know obviously what's happened with my own bodybuilding is what's happened at the minute. But even when I do step back on stage, if I was to achieve something, you know, I would want his name.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you know, like, we've worked together for so long, we've gone through so much together, you know, that it's almost out of just loyalty and
It's a
respect.
partnership.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, I think coaches respect that, and also the way that you work with your coach is going to be even better because you're building even a stronger relationship.
Yeah, for sure.
That, you know, they will become even more invested into your journey and want to give you even more time because you've been good to them.
Yeah,
Not saying that, you know, that should ever change, you know, the amount of time that you give each client, but it's true. Like, you know, you build a better relationship, you even subconsciously, you know, you'll give them an extra 5 minutes.
mutual respect.
Yeah,
I think that's
yeah,
what
and
it boils down to.
that goes a long way.
Yeah, and I think, you know, I always preach this to clients that come on board with me, like, you're paying me money. Take advantage of the service. Like, take advantage of, like,
ask questions.
I stress to people, if you see me in the gym, ask me anything you want to ask me. If you want me to come and spot you, I'm going to come and spot you. Text me, pester me. Like, there will come a time when you don't have as much to say to me because you've been coached and you've been educated, and now you're at a higher standard. So and then there'll come another time where there's something else. But yeah, it's that whole like mutual respect of each other's time. But the more you lean into a process with a coach, the more you will get out of that.
Yeah.
One thing I will ask.
I see online clients at Corpus, and I will literally spend another 45 minutes just randomly out of my day trying to help them. You know, and talk to them, and
you must have some like from the perspective of you working with AJ, there must be like maybe not top 3 things that you've taken, but like inspiration from like a business front as well. Like looking at the business that AJ has built, I look at that and I go, right, yeah, maybe my niche long term isn't going to be totally natural bodybuilders, but look, there's numerous people within our circle or extended circle that we know of that are running really, really successful businesses. And the bigger, I don't know if I've said this before on the podcast, but I'm going to say it now. Something that Finn said a while ago, Finn Kelly, was that with natural physique coaching, they're now at a point where it's like the next client doesn't matter from a monetary perspective. It's more like, okay, we can help more people and we can get more people into the sport of natural bodybuilding. That for me, that's the dream, to get to a place where like the money's fine. It's just about how many people I can help. That I think is like the most, that's the gold standard of what every coach in this industry should be working towards, because that's the reason you got into it in the first place, is to help people.
Definitely.
So yeah, I think certainly when I look at people like AJ and, you know, all those other boys and girls, like that's what I take from it. Last question.
That comes down to the coach as well, in terms of like what they're wanting. You know, if they're like lifestyle or competitive clients, like do they solely want to coach competitors, or do they want to coach lifestyle clients as well?
For sure.
But then you can also do photo shoots, you can do preps, you know, weekends, you can do everything.
Last question, a bit of a controversial one, potentially, depending on how we answer it. Okay. Is a coach really a coach if he or she just prescribes drugs?
No. Definitely not.
I think it's a good question, because you definitely see it in the industry where like the solution for getting leaner, or the solution for getting bigger, or the solution for whatever, and obviously this is a natural bodybuilding podcast, but me and Zach both have exposure to that side of the sport.
Dogs are going
crazy. It's because they're natty. It's because the dogs are natty, so they hate this kind of talk. But yeah, there's coaches that really do take the piss and mess around with people's health for the sake of money, because a lot of the time the coach who is coaching is also the one who's providing said supplements, let's say. So it's a pretty messy world, that, which is why you should stay natural.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah, don't do drugs, because 1, there's a high chance you'll be taken advantage of. 2, you'll end up like Samson Dowder and you won't be able to wipe your asshole. But if you get there, I will clap for you and I will congratulate you, because I think it's pretty cool. Just not for me. Not for me.
Very impressive.
Very impressive. Very impressive. Would love to see how he sleeps.
Creepy.
Yeah, but it's got to be like in some sort of vat, right? Like out of Star Wars, he's got to be in like a float tank. It's mental.
The way that I think we have, I don't even know what size our bed is, right? But it's like is it a king size or an emperor size? I don't even know, right? It's massive. And I'm like, I just think how much space he would take up on even that.
Yeah.
Suffocating. You know, like,
suffocating.
It's crazy.
Right. Time is pretty much up. and that was my last question. Have you got anything else you want to talk about?
No, mate, I don't necessarily think so. I mean, I do have maybe one more question that we'll ask.
Yeah, fire that.
Biggest thing that being a bodybuilder has taught you that you apply to everyday life?
Izzy's shaking her finger. I'll answer that one first. I think, like, coming back to expectation of self and what you can achieve. For me personally, I always say to people, like, I would not be running the business that I'm running today without having invested deeper into bodybuilding. It's definitely a fine line because, like you said before, it's an incredibly selfish sport and you can get very wrapped up in it. I'm getting a look. But in terms of like that just drive and that willpower to go, that's the thing that I want to go and achieve. I'm going to go and achieve it. That's the gift that it has given me, like nothing else. Like school didn't give me that. Uni didn't give me that. Jobs didn't give me that. Bodybuilding has given me that desire to go and get the things that I want to get in life.
Yeah. It's just hard work, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I was going to say as well. Is just apply yourself to 100% at whatever you are doing.
Yeah. I think if you're living this, I always use the analogy of like, let's say you've got a glass in the middle of the table and you're filling it, and it is the bodybuilding glass. It fills up and it overflows into every single facet of your life. That's not always a good thing. It's not always a good thing because it can distract you from being present. It can distract you from prioritizing other people at times. But as long as you're self-aware enough and you have a good coach in your corner who can steer you out of those tricky situations, the overwhelming majority of it is positive in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I earlier stages of even PT, and I had to put in absolutely crazy hours on the gym floor. You know, to the point where that, of course, eats into relationships or the time that you spend with family or whatnot. But it becomes a difficult one to manage if you're really trying to push. I'd have members coming into the gym at like 6 o'clock in the morning for their cardio, come back in the evening for their session. And they'll be like, Zach, have you gone home? I'm like, no.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard.
You know,
we'll save that for next week because I think there will be some people out there who are like, and this was me last year saying to you, like, I really want to get into this industry. I want to do X, Y, Z. But now that I'm living it, now that I'm living it, you do learn more about like, okay, maybe I want this part of it, but maybe I don't want that part of it. And yeah, you've got to be open to the ups and the downs for sure.
Definitely.
Cool. Right.
All right.
Well,
leave it on that one.
We'll close it off with that one. Thank you everyone for listening. Obviously, any attention that you give us is always appreciated. Like, subscribe, share this with your best friends, your nan, your dogs. We want everybody listening. The first month of the Chatty Natty podcast has been wicked, and I think we're enjoying doing it.
Yeah.
Episode
6 out of 6,000.
No, this is episode 5, mate.
This is oh no, it is 5. Episode 5 out of 5,000.
Yeah, exactly. 5 done, 4,995 to go. Yes. God, we'll both be very grey by that point, but it'll be a good journey. So
yeah, we'll be both being like wheelchairs and grey and
yeah, exactly that. Right, peace out, everybody. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Cheers, guys.